Alright, what up y'all? Welcome to this month's video. Today we're talking about Pantera, which is like the ultimate I want to beat the shit out of someone music. Now, they weren't always like that. We gotta take a look at what we like to call Glamtera first, because I'm gonna tell you right now, they're all on the bottom because they're not good albums. But I couldn't just lump them into one number and say, oh, they're all shit, because, you know, we gotta be semi-professional over here. So without further ado, let's get started with the worst album ever. So, I Am the Night. This one was a few spots higher until I discovered that one of the only songs I like on this album, which is Down Below, because I thought it straight up sounds like early Judas Priest, they redid it in power metal with Phil Anselmo, and it's better. So the one on here is Worthless. The only other decent song is Valhalla. I actually think that one actually kind of kicks a lot of ass. But my god, I think the whole electro tom thing that they have going on the whole album is the cheesiest and dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Dime shreds on the whole album, as he usually does, but everything else is awful. Especially the opening track, Hot and Heavy. I'm gonna read you an excerpt from this song because I wrote it down, because it's one of the stupidest things I ever heard. Take a look at my ice cream cone, baby. Go ahead, take a lick. Can't wait to take you home, beat you with my stick. And there's actually people in the comments saying that this version of Pantera is better than the later one. Oh my god. So their debut album, Metal Magic, just kind of whatever. It doesn't irritate me as much as I Am the Night, which is why it's a little bit above it, but there's really like no good songs on it, which I don't know. I debated on the two, but like, I don't know. Tell Me You Want It, the instrumentally, it's pretty decent, but the chorus, the lyrics and vocals are, again, dumb. The title track is fine. Just fuck this shit, man. It's not good. It's not good. Projects in the Jungle, the best of the Terry Glaze albums. All I gotta say is Out for Blood. The riffs are actually kind of go really hard. Over My Head reminds me of Def Leppard, which is my shit. And then the title track slays too. That's about it. That's all I gotta say about this one. And finally we get to Power Metal, the first Phil Anselmo album. And this one just overall, it has a much more metal-y sound as opposed to the other three, which is why it just automatically above the other ones. And like I said, the new version of Down Below I think is pretty damn good. But in general, no songs really stand out. It's just, overall, it's just a lot better of a listen than the other albums. Although, the last track, whatever it's called, the one that Dime sings on, I also wrote down a segment of lyrics because they're equally as fucking trash. Loose will occur when the puss starts to purr. You know what you are? You fuck us so hard. Pussy tight, alright. Glamtera is fucking bad. Okay, our first actual Pantera album is going to be Reinventing the Steel. So, this one is just kind of meh overall, but it's still miles ahead of those other four albums. Obviously, you got Death Rattle, which is probably the first Pantera song I ever heard, because they put that shit in SpongeBob, and I just can't believe how good that show used to be. The fact that they had Pantera in a SpongeBob episode, the coolest thing ever. But there are a couple other good songs, like Yesterday Don't Mean Shit is super heavy, Revolution Is My Name is probably the most groove metal song I ever heard. Just anytime they bust out the cowbell, man, That and Drag the Waters. Anytime there's a cowbell, automatically a great song. So this one is actually surprised me how low it kind of is. Vulgar Display of Power. So I think the first half of this album just absolutely slays. From Mouth for War all the way to Rise. I think Rise is pretty underrated. Fucking Hostile is one of my favorite songs, probably my second favorite Pantera song. Walk is a classic. But the last half, starting with No Good, I think is just kind of okay. Like, Hollow has some good moments that I really like. And also, the unreleased song, Piss, I think is one of my favorite songs on the album, which really, I just really wonder why they got rid of that song. And By Demons Be Driven, I think that also has some good moments, but just overall, it's just the first half is just so much stronger than this one. That's why it's at number 4, because it's a pretty unbalanced for me. Alright, moving into the Great Southern Trendkill. Hell yeah, the cool snake one. As I mentioned earlier, Drag the Waters, super groovy, not even because just the cowbell, but just the riffs and the drumming together. One of my favorite Pantera songs as well. Tens is also really good. Floods, I know one of those songs was in the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball, the original one, like the whole song. I don't remember which one it was, but it was one of those, and that was kind of cool. Suicide Note Part 1 is one of their tamest songs, and then Part 2 is probably one of their craziest, which it feels like it was written in a way where that's kind of how it goes with when you deal with suicides. Like, first it's like really sad, and then you get really fucking angry. Those two songs just resonate a lot with me. And then, yeah, again, with Floods, I think the guitar tone is super, super cool guitar tone. But every song on here it's pretty solid overall. And moving forward, it's kind of like these top 3 albums, I think all the songs are pretty solid, minus a few, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, this is a very strong album overall. Also, it looks like Christmas. I got this Christmas get-up with these lights right now. Alright, Far Beyond Driven. Dude, the first 4 tracks, I was like, my god, this album is nuts. Strength Beyond Strength. Becoming has one of the coolest drum patterns I ever heard in my entire life. 5 Minutes Alone. If you don't know the backstory behind that song, look it up because it's hilarious. And I'm Broken. Just, God, such a... They really did invent, like, the groove metal thing, because I'm Broken is, like, one of their best ones. But then we hit Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills and Hardline Sucking Cheeks. I gotta be honest, I don't like those songs at all. Good Friends, I think, is a lot worse. That's probably, like, besides the first 4 albums, that's my least favorite Pantera song, period. But then after that, we have 25 Years, which is super brutal. Use My Third Arm, another one of their faster songs, and they have a little callback to another song that's really awesome. A lot of really high highs with Far Beyond Driven. The only thing holding it back, the only reason it's not number 1 is because those 2 songs, Good Friends and Hard Lines. If they weren't on there, this would easily be number 1. But our number 1 pick is going to be the biggest 180 in music history with Cowboys from Hell. I wish I was there when this dropped and all these glam fans pop this in and the title track starts to play and they thought, wow, this band is ruined. One that would make their other albums completely worthless in comparison. Psycho Holiday has a really great chorus in it. Medicine Man, Domination's my favorite Pantera song. Cemetery Gates, another classic. The Art of Shredding, the title track. Just like Far Beyond Driven, every single song in here has at least one really good moment. Except this one doesn't have any bad songs. However, this album has one major downside. The drum production on this album is the worst I ever heard in my life. Especially the hi-hats. Like, my God, every time he hits the hi-hat, it just screeches my ear. It's like, you know that amp from Spinal Tap where it goes to 11? It's like when it comes to the drum production, they went to the treble and turned it up to like 15. I can't believe how bad the cymbals sound on this album. But nonetheless, we got a couple remasters in the greatest hits, which fixes this problem, but no domination in there. So all I'm stuck with is this version that I just want to scream at the stupid engineer who worked on this. But anyway, that's my Pantera list. I'm sorry if you like the glam albums, but I don't. But let me know what your list is. If you don't want to count the first 4, I understand. I didn't want to listen to them either, but I had to. But like I said, there's like 3 or 4 good songs in those 4 albums, so they're not totally worthless, but they pretty much are. But we are approaching October, and October is going to be the craziest goddamn month for music in the history of me being alive. I believe there's about 7 or 8 albums dropping in October. And I've only ranked like 2 or 3 of those bands. So we got like 8 album reviews and 5 rankings coming up next month. Some of those are going to bleed off into the first few weeks of November, mainly the ones that are coming out near Halloween. So I'm going to get to work on listening to a shitload of albums to prepare for the mammoth that is October. So I'll see you all in a few weeks.